Right. I'm super excited to be speaking with one of my recent clients, Johara, today. It's always nice to hear from client about her or his experience working with me. One thing is writing about my work, posting about it, but then it's another thing hearing from an actual client who had some amazing results. So I want to introduce you to Johara. She's an artist and designer. Maybe you want to say a couple of words about you and your work.
Okay. As you said, artist and designer, but I kind of tend to go between both, and I enjoy both very much. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to say about myself other than that. I've been doing it for years and years now. I think 15 years for design and doing art since I was a kid. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
Cool. And tell us a little bit about where were you before we started working together, and how did you feel? What was the situation? What was the mindset?
Yeah, so it was quite a thing. I think a lot of people in that post 2020 situation were in a very bad state. And I think my mental health was very much suffering. And I wasn't in a good place in terms of, well, most things, but especially my work and my art. I just felt like I was completely stagnant. Like like I wasn't producing work that I liked or anything that I wasn't enjoying the process anymore. And it really got to me because that was my identity. It was who I was. So it was something that I really loved about myself that I suddenly didn't anymore. And it affected my whole life, because when that big a part of you is suddenly like lost to you, your whole being becomes lost. So I feel like I was very much lost in that respect, which is why I was looking for some sort of help to get back to myself, to get back to
Mhm.
um, back on my feet creatively, if you can call it that.
And this is why you reached out to me, right? You just
Yeah.
basically described why you reach out. Cool. And where are you now? What has changed in your life?
Okay. So, well, a lot has changed. Firstly, like one of the biggest problems that I had was that I wasn't making anything. It'd been like a year and a half where I couldn't, first of all, get myself to get to a creative headspace enough to create something or to reach out to people or do anything, all of that a lot easier to do. It's almost as if I'm no longer trying, but I'm able to uh, move forward with things without overthinking them, without, um, how do I put it, without the struggle factor. Like I'm doing the same things that I would have been doing just without the struggle factor, basically.
Awesome. That's so good to hear, because this is what I'm talking all the time, on my website, on my social media, with my potential clients, that it doesn't have to be hard. We are the ones making it hard.
Yes.
And when you have the right tools, you free up so much space in yourself to just enjoy your work and to become obsessed with your passion again, right? So what happened, I hear, is that you got back in your creative flow and your eyes are shining again, and you become much more productive naturally,
Very much,
organically.
very much so.
Awesome. And what are some of those things that what was, maybe you can share some of what created the change for you? What was the important thing for you? What created your, well, liberation, or you can
I think the biggest thing was a change of mindset. So it was it was how I felt about the things that were happening. Where before I felt everything was happening to me, as opposed to now where I feel like I have some agency. I have agency in the things that are going on in my life, so I can affect change. That I can actually move forward with things without feeling like, oh, this didn't work out because something else, like maybe a victim sort of mentality or something like that. So with like it's to sort of get rid of that and feel a sense of self empowerment. So that's the mental change, the self empowerment are the biggest ones for me.
Mm-hmm. And what results did it bring you? Because you had some awesome news recently, right? Your
Yes.
new opportunity. Can you share about that?
Yes. So I had been looking for stuff for the longest time, for work, for even art commissions and things like that. And honestly, it just started coming to me without me putting in much effort. And one of the biggest things was that I had a job opportunity that came up, and it was exactly what I was looking for. And it allowed me to negotiate what I was looking for, and um, as opposed to before, when I would have sort of just taken whatever came my way and just for the desperation of it. And this time I was like, no, I'm also part of this situation, and I can affect how I do things and how the outcomes of what I'm going to do. Well, again, not with all the effort in the world, but with sort of a sense of trust that it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. Wow, and it's worked, and you already started working on your new project, or how is
Yes.
it? Yeah,
So
awesome.
I'm a month in at the moment, and
Yeah.
it's been a very different journey to any other sort of work opportunity or any opportunity that I've had. And I just seem to be approaching it differently. That things just seem to be different. Something's changed. Something's different.
Oh, that's so good to hear, because a lot of people think that, hey, yeah, coaching, this inspiration, empowerment, and it seems so airy and somewhere in the air, but there's actual results. People are getting projects, jobs, promotions, and this is actually happening all the time. And it's not happening the hard way, but it's happening like the organic, natural way, because people feel your passion from the distance, even sometimes without words, without saying anything. People can feel your energy, and they're like, oh, I want to work with her. This girl seems like, a badass, creative, a very
Yeah.
inspiring woman. So it's so good to hear this. And do you well, I always talk about mindset, how important it is, focus and confidence. Have you also noticed shifts in your confidence?
Oh,
Uh,
completely.
yeah,
Very much so. I think as I spoke about before, when with the mindset change, you sort of start feeling differently about yourself. And as soon as you start feeling differently about yourself, the way you put yourself out to the world is completely different. So I think that is it's been a major change. I don't think I was ever like not confident, but I think I came across in a more aggressive way because I was trying so hard to
yeah,
get things going the way I wanted to. But now I feel like a sense of ease in that confidence, and it's it's changed basically in the best way.
yeah. This is something I also, whenever I catch myself when I'm trying too hard, then I stop myself immediately, and I'm like, this is not you. This is not who you are. This is not Arta with your goal. Arta with your goal is having so much joy and pleasure and passion and creative. So then the approach changes, the way how we do things start to change, so nice. Can you maybe tell some things about me as a coach? Would you recommend my services to other people, and to whom you would recommend it? And how was it, the whole experience for you to work with me?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would absolutely recommend your services to people at any stage of their creative journey. Look, we had our sessions, and I can tell you week to week there were changes in how I was feeling, how I was producing work, and how I was going about even like looking for opportunities. I can like through the journey. I would suggest it to anybody at any stage who's looking to make some sort of breakthrough,
Mm,
some sort of to level up in any way.
mhm.
Because I think if I can come from my mentality and where I was to how I'm feeling at the moment and how I have been feeling, that is a massive change. So I would, if anybody is looking for that sort of thing,
Mhm.
or even if people are like starting to do okay or starting, I feel like you could definitely help them move on to a better level, to
Mhm.
level up wherever they are.
Nice. And the last thing I wanted to ask you about the inner magical child session, because this is actually a recent service that I'm starting because it has helped me so much as a creative, as an artist. And so I started offering these sessions also to my clients recently. Can you tell a little bit about how did you experience it, and if it helped you, and how was it for you?
I find that it was a very, as you say, magical experience. It really helps to connect with something that you would have otherwise forgot. I think we tend to get very caught up in what we're doing and where we're trying to go, and what, like all the things that we're trying to achieve, and that sort of takes you back to a very natural place where you can figure out what it is that you are actually after in the first place, what it is you actually um, want to do, where you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
on a very instinctive basis, like not so much a worldly thing, like sort of uncontaminated by the world. I really enjoyed it. I really, it was very clarifying for me. I think there were a lot of things that I was still trying to figure out in terms of what I really wanted. Even when you set goals, it's always good to have clarity on where you want to go and what you're trying to achieve. And I think that definitely helped me to achieve that clarity.
Oh, great. So lovely to hear about your journey. And I'm sure it will be inspiring for many, and miracles are possible. We don't have to try harder. Actually, if you are watching this and you have this feeling, oh my gosh, I have been pushing and trying and nothing is really changing, then stop right now.
I
And
can
then,
tell whoever's watching and thinking that's exactly how I was when I reached out in the first place. And I think it's not just me who can tell the difference; it's people around me as well. So my husband's noticed, people
yeah.
around me, that I'm different
Oh,
and more
this
confident.
this is very interesting. What is your husband telling? This you didn't tell me. How does he experience you differently now?
So, I'm just generally a more well, the word he used was that I have more verve in me
More
suddenly.
what? More
Verve, verve.
verb.
So it's more vigor.
Wow.
Like, so I'm actually
Wow.
like I used to suffer from a lot of fatigue,
Yeah.
and I was always very like anything was such an effort all the time, but now I'm able to do things without all of that holding me back.
Oh, but this is also a nice point that you mentioned in regards to energy, because
Yes.
actually what this job is doing, what my work is doing, it also frees up the natural energy flow that you already have, but that has been somehow, for some reasons, as you said, crises and situations, and become stagnant. So it feels a bit like this creative life energy is not flowing for one reason or another. And then there are two options, whether we are, just keeping stuck, or we do it the quick way, by receiving support, and bang, bang, bang. And in a couple of weeks, you fly and you have opportunities, eyes start to shine, and you become a magnet to the things that you desire. So super. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And thanks everyone who was watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.